A lot of people want to make $5,000, $10,000 for a music video. Well, you have to eventually make the $5,000 or $10,000 music video. You have to eventually make the video that looks like that.
Hey guys, welcome back to our brand new series, the Collaborations podcast, where we're bringing you valuable information in bite-sized chunks from other filmmakers, editors, and YouTube creatives all over the world. Now today, I want to say a massive thank you to this guest. His channel is on fire and has some super unique and creative content ideas for music videos. And that's none other than Christopher from YCImaging. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to be here and chat on the podcast. I haven't been on a podcast in a little bit, so this is awesome.
Oh, well, I really appreciate it. Again, I think like every time I do one of these as well, it just goes to show like how collaborative the filmmaking industry is, where you think like, technically everyone's a competitor, but it's just such a nice natured environment. And again, I really appreciate everyone taking a bit of time out to do this, and hopefully it provides some insane value as well. So
yeah, for sure.
Sick. So the one question that I've got for you today is, how can people break into the music video industry and start making money? Because if I'm being completely honest with you, this is an industry that I've really struggled with over here in the UK. And mainly because we built our business to a point where we didn't want to do too many passion projects, but we didn't have much of a portfolio in that area. But when a young creative person comes to me and says, oh, I want to make a video production company and I want to do music videos, I instantly am like, oh, I'm not so sure that's like the best thing to do. But anyway, I'm not the expert here. So what kind of advice would you give to them so they can fast track that process and start getting some results?
Yeah, I could see why you would say that, just because it's so many other way more lucrative, I guess, filmmaking paths to take, like, commercial films or wedding films or, even traditional filmmaking, I think is a way more lucrative space than music videos. So it is one of the more difficult places to, get your money in and get your business going. But I do think it's possible to do. I think the basis of it has to be, like you said, starting a portfolio and getting some work under your belt. So as sucky as it is to, get out there and do some free work and mess with some clients you might not necessarily enjoy, you have to do that because you have to have proof of concept for other clients who will come in the future who may want you to potentially do some work for them. So I think that's a starting point to, I want to say, anything. You know what I mean? I think if you get into wedding films, you need something to show someone, or if you get into traditional commercial, you need something to show someone. So just on the starting foot, you definitely have to, get some work under your belt.
I completely agree. And I think that there's a huge like taboo issue where, you should never do work for free. You shouldn't underestimate your value. And it's like, in my opinion, like everyone values themselves too high because that's the idea, right? We're all very good at what we do. And it's no different for us, we build a strong company in like, let's say the corporate or action sports sector. But if we want to move into music videos, like I recognize that I have to go and do some free work, some passion project work, some work that's going to cost me money, because I can't expect a artist of any size, whether they're just starting out on their journey or whether or not they're signed to a label, I can't expect them to trust me if I've never done it before. Of course, there's like some experience that I can show them from different industries so that they can see that ultimately, we produce good content. But I really think until you've got that kind of specific portfolio, it's really hard to start to kind of get money and know that worth. And I don't know if you've got any kind of additional advice on this, but sometimes I say to beginners, build up your portfolio first. So if you want to work with an artist, then just start to expand on it. We were talking about this before the podcast joined as well. I said, like, I felt like series 1 is going to be me figuring this out, and then hopefully it will get better and better. But everyone has to start somewhere. And you'll look back at work that you produced on your music videos, a year ago, and just think, oh, I'm so much better than that now. And that's just that natural growth. But you obviously have to start somewhere. And then you can start by charging like just a small amount. well, that would be my advice, would to be charged something small and then start to build up on that, because you can't just walk in and start charging, $1,000 a day if you haven't had that track record, I guess.
Yeah, I think a couple tips on this, when building your initial portfolio is to try to work with artists that align with the genre of music that you see yourself doing in the future, and also the style of cinematography you see yourself doing in the future. I think that this is going to make it extremely easier for you to eventually get to the place that you want to get to. Also, think that you should attempt to do some out of the box ideas, because I think music videos in specific is one of the most I guess it's one of the most saturated forms of filmmaking, just because anybody can do it. Like, you have artists who are attempting to do their own music videos on their phone. Then you have people who just have access to a camera who are just doing music videos. And the reason that this is because it's really no right or wrong way to do a music video. You can do anything. You can do crazy effects. You can film a music video underwater. You don't have to follow a select dialogue or a consistent cinematography style like some other forms of filmmaking typically are. Um, so it's a place where you can really do creative things that you just, whatever comes to your mind. You know what I mean? You want to set a house on fire, you can flip a car. Like, this is the place to do it at. So
I feel that music videos provide you with that yeah, that you're not confined within this box. Sometimes in the corporate sector that can obviously happen due to the audience that you're trying to please, and a bunch of other factors, and sometimes that can kind of put the lid on your kind of capability. You obviously push in certain areas, but music videos, yeah, is definitely something that you can do that. And actually something that I'll throw up on screen as well is when I was watching through some of your content, we've got an infinity cove next to us, literally just right here in our studio. And you've got a shot of someone sitting on your cove with a projector. And this might sound just really basic, but it's something that I'd never thought about doing. And that visual in that video looked just so stunning and so unique that I was just like, I instantly said to the guys here, like, why have we not done this? Like, this is sick. Like, even for events and stuff, when we had our opening party, if we had just put a projector on the cove, it would have looked insane. And I think that, that's why, you've got so much unique content, and there's definitely pushing those boundaries and testing, different things. And if it doesn't work, then just don't use it. There's no harm in trying.
yeah, and I think that this is like, when you're trying to build up the portfolio, this is the best time to try this outlandish stuff, because it's no money on the line. You know what I mean? So it's you really don't have that immense amount of pressure that you will eventually get once you do run into these high paying clients. So I say that to say, just do things that are a little bit different, because it's easier for a client to see that this is significantly different than this, as opposed to something that majority of other people may be doing. And when it comes to you eventually making money, whether it's a little bit of money or a lot of money, I think that you do eventually have to get into a space where you do reinvest back into projects to show that you can do more. I always tell people, like, a lot of people want to make $5,000, $10,000 for a music video. Well, you have to eventually make the $5,000 or $10,000 music video. You have to eventually make the video that looks like that. And you might not get that opportunity where you're going to get that budget until you show that you can create something that looks like that. And this is where reinvesting comes back into projects. So that can be reinvesting in the props, locations, lighting, different people to help you on sets. This is just a sacrifice that I feel like you have to do a couple of times in order to really build that portfolio up and show that you can actually take on these jobs that can pay you this amount of money. So I think if you want to make $5,000, you have to make the $5,000 music video first.
That's such a good way of putting it as well. And because, these people, when even any client in any industry, when they pay $5,000 or $10,000, whatever, they actually expect the video to look like that. They don't take into consideration your equipment and your time. They don't care. They just want to make sure that when they see that end video, it looks like the amount of money that they paid for it. And I think that locations is something that, actually when you're starting out is quite difficult because it can be quite costly, but it can really make or break any kind of video, for sure. Would you say that with, when you eventually start to make some money and you start to, you probably start with smaller artists and then you charge a little bit and start to like increase your rates slowly over time, is it just a network of people that you meet along the way, or is there any kind of like given way that you could start to work your way up quicker to those music labels? Is it just about just the portfolio, or is it about networking with lots of people? Is it about working with as many people as possible because they might know someone? Or, is there any kind of advice around that for someone who thinks, okay, I've got a couple of bits in my portfolio, but now I want to move towards a bit more of like, more serious money? What kind of advice have you got for that?
Yeah, I think everybody's grind's different. Like some people they grind indie heavy. I would say I'm more so on that side. And some people they do want to, go and do the label stuff. When it comes to the indie grind, I would say a lot of it is just word of mouth. I would purposely go and film and shoot musicians who were in different areas than I wasn't, just so I could get that word of mouth. The thing about like musicians is that they also have a very competitive industry. So if they see that you have done a very creative video for one of their peers or one of their competitors, they will come to you to try to get something that's better. So I would try to actively seek out different areas and different musicians than the ones that I was working with. And obviously, you will continue to build the base with the artists that you work with at the beginning. But I think it's all about venturing out and doing, music videos that aren't necessarily around where you are when you're just starting on a smaller scale. When it comes to, pitching ideas to labels, I think it's obviously about connections, yes, but it's also about proof of concept as well. When you're in those situations where you're trying to pitch a video to a label, you have to make a script. You have to make a storyboard. You have to make something that can visualize exactly what you want to do for an artist, because you can say all this stuff, you can say everything that you want to do, but you have to have something that visualizes this, and it's easy to read and it's easy to see. So this can be you putting together a quick storyboard, and then catching and pulling frames from films and music videos that you've seen before, and just writing down a quick detailed story about what you plan to do for the music video. But this all comes with connections. Like, it's not like a website you go to pitch ideas to labels. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Musicvideos.com.
It's just not like that. Like, you can't just go to universal, musicgroup.com or whatever the case may be and just say,
Yeah.
hey, I want to shoot a music video. I mean, that all kind of just comes from either you building a genuine relationship with an artist on a label and them giving you that connection, or you just building connections all around. So it's a couple different ways to get into that space, but it's no like one path to go there. um, I recommend honestly just reaching out to artists one on one who may already be signed to labels. I think that's probably, I don't want to say the easiest, but it could be the most direct path. So I've had lots of artists who've been signed to labels directly DM me on Instagram and just ask for music videos. How much do you charge? How much is this? And that can be a difficult path to get there, but there are musicians who aren't super popular that are on their way to that space, and that can be your gateway to eventually doing label music videos.
Yeah, and I think also people, they're artists, right? So they're passionate about their work as well. So if you can meet them with that same kind of passion, then sometimes people with the finances are happy to put whatever it is into it, even if they're an unheard of person, because they're just as passionate about creating this art as you are. And I think a really key thing that I would add to that is that if you're doing something as like a passion project or for free or for cheap, don't cut those corners and then make the work look cheap, because you're only going to stop your own growth. So you need to, like you said earlier, and I think that just summed it up the best, was if you want those $5,000 jobs, then you've got to make all of your content look like the $5,000 jobs, even if you're not getting that. And I think that that's super valuable, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of people, the money's great. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but if
It
you
helps.
are doing a project that you aren't getting paid the most amount of money for, or you're reinvesting the majority of money into it, make it as best as possible, because this is going to be your proof of concept for the next client who could potentially pay you that more money. I mean, more money. So yeah, you can't cut corners with it.
Mate, this has honestly been, we're obviously trying to keep these podcasts short so they're bite-sized so people can filter through and find the information that they want rather than just listening for like 2 hours and taking just one bit at the start and one bit at the end. So I really appreciate that. I feel like you've packed in so much in a short amount of time. That's really valuable. And, you know, it's been really interesting when I get to talk to people who are specialists in different areas as well, you know, trying to think about like how I would shift my business to that, or perhaps like this, when I've tried it in the past and it hasn't really worked, why it hasn't. So again, not only do I really appreciate you taking the time out to talk to everyone about that, I really appreciate, you know, your advice and guidance to help other people get through that as well, because it is a tough industry for sure.
Definitely.
So mate, thank you so much for your time today. I will leave a link in the description below so people can go and check out your channel. Like I said, I actually got so many creative ideas and I was like, this is sick. I'm definitely gonna put a projector on our cove at the next opportunity. So yeah, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna just steal that.
Definitely do that, man. Send it to me. I want to see.
Nice, man, nice. I appreciate that. Well, yeah, link in the description. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comments below, because that tells us that we should do more of these. And yeah, until next time, man, it's been great meeting you. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'm sure the guys will want you back on the podcast soon. So hopefully we can make that happen.
Definitely, man. Appreciate you.